could say. So I wanted to tell you a little story about the fact that I wasn't always this happy man that you see before you. At some point in time, I was a 13-year-old growing up in West Tampa, 3000 to West Sly Avenue. It's a small house, white picket fence. Lived with my mother, my two sisters. My oldest sister had already gone off to college, and my mother was a nurse. And it was one evening, one of the attributes of that house was that it lived on a curve that was underestimated by people all the time. We had tons of accidents on that curve, unfortunately. And it was one evening, it was a Friday, and all of a sudden you hear the big crunch, and sure enough, we go outside. A motorcyclist had misjudged the curve, gone through the mailbox, smashed into the fence, and was badly hurt. My mom instructs my middle sister, go call 911. She starts to triage. She sets the guy up, makes sure that his head is nice and solid so that there's no neck movement there. His knee is in bad shape. Bad lacerations, he's bleeding all over the place. My mom's going through the different things. I'm freaking out, I'm a 13-year-old. And what I noticed was my mom is absolutely going through the checklist without any problem. And she has the wherewithal in the middle of all this, as the guy's bleeding on the sidewalk, she says, "Can you grab this jacket? I want to put it under here. I just cleaned the sidewalk the other day." And I was a little shocked by the fact that she had the wherewithal to not only be going through all the checklists, to be able to direct my sister, to be able to triage this individual appropriately, and determine all these things, but she was also thinking, I cleaned the sidewalk, and I don't want the blood all over it. And in that moment, my mom, a fairly unassuming lady, I realized had a superpower. And her superpower was being unflappable in an emergency situation. And I thought it was funny that I lived with the woman and I didn't recognize her superpower. And it's one of those things that I encourage you guys. You may be next to somebody, whether it's a spouse, a loved one, members in this chapter you've been around. Every single one of us has a superpower. This whole group is a bunch of motivated people. We don't suffer fools very well, nor do we have attention unless people keep our attention. Everyone in here has a superpower. And at the end of the day, if you have not discovered it, it's not because they don't have one. It's because you haven't asked the right question or seen them in the right circumstance. So I encourage you guys, like myself in that moment of self-discovery, my mother realizing she did have that superpower, to encourage other folks to have your one-on-one. And in addition to the dance card that says all the different things, what is that person's superpower? I guarantee you they have it. That's the power of storytelling. My hope is that instead of standing up here and instructing you to look for people's superpower, by telling a story, it will hit home, and that way you guys will remember. The power of storytelling to convey a lesson, teaching by parable, if you will, is an important one. That's your educational moment for the day.